that need is just going to have to increase no matter how long the quarantine goes. And I told him one could even make a debatable case that the longer the quarantine goes, the bigger that market share and demand is going to be for IT professionals. What is your view in the landscape of jobs, industries? You know, do you see things getting absolved completely? What market shares do you see shifting? Like, what do you see as a recruiter on the general job landscape, and what should people expect going forward? Whether, you know, we get out of this within a month, or whether this, you know, we get out of this 6 months from now.
So just to let you know, that's super loaded, right?
I know, you know how I do. You know how I do. You know how I do. You came here,
of course.
You know what was going.
But so as far as the quote unquote job landscape, it's stalled right now. A lot of it is stalled. A lot of strategies are pivoting right now. Whether there are some industries that are just completely going to be dead and gone, or whether some are going to need or have enough cash to be able to sustain this stall and thrive, but they're going to need to have a contingency plan for the next time something like this might happen, right? Like, I think the world right now has been changed forever.
Absolutely.
Right? We've never seen, I mean, since the Spanish flu, we've never seen, you know, something like this, to where, you know, the economy is just stalled, right? As far as my company, right? Like, we're still hiring. We're hiring at the same speed, in fact, a little bit faster than what we were hiring before.
But that's also, but your company was also built to sustain this type of economy, or whatever, economic breakdown, whatever the fuck you want to describe, whatever the hell we in right now.
So I'm gonna be a company man really quickly. PayPal was created to democratize money, to be able to give it access to people that wouldn't necessarily have access otherwise. And PayPal's only competitor is Amazon, right? So if you think about how the scope of that, how huge that is, Amazon is there's nobody big.
How is PayPal? How is Amazon a competitor to PayPal?
Because PayPal makes money on nearly every internet purchase, period, except for the ones that you get on Amazon. So if you just can't use PayPal with Amazon. There's a complete separation of church and state there, that they said that PayPal, you're not gonna profit off of our stuff. But nearly every other secure internet purchase is done, like, PayPal's making some money off of that, right? So PayPal was built for this type of, you know, not with this in mind, but it was built to be able to sustain something like this. But that is the type of thing that I think a lot of people need to think about when they think about making their pivot, right? You know, can a company make it through a downturn? What is the future of this company in the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever, right? Like, when we're thinking about where we need to go and what we want to do, you know, understanding a company is important in doing that. So, like, for example, you know, I came from JP Morgan. I was at JP Morgan before I went to PayPal. I got friends at JP Morgan that are asking me if PayPal's hiring. You know, I got like recruiter friends, because they are afraid for their jobs because they're not hiring right now. You know, like, the old banks are not in that position to be able to do that. The brick and mortars of the world are at a complete standstill. You know, people are asking for government handouts. It's really only the tech companies that are thriving right now, and really only, you know, the major established ones, right? Like, you have to really be able to be smart and find your niche in this new economy, or lack thereof, and set yourself up well to be able to go, you know, to be able to thrive after this is done, because eventually it'll be over, and people are going to need goods, people are going to need services, people are going to need everything that we had before, but there's going to be a caution that happens, you know, like, people are not going to necessarily, even after this pandemic, people are not going to be necessarily meeting in big groups.
I told
even
people, like, concerts, you know, any type of concerts, you know, fucking live shows, restaurants, like, how long is it going to take? I mean, we could have it cleared up, but I'm not, like, how long is it going to take people to feel comfortable to sit down in a crowded restaurant? Like, that basic question, people can't answer. And that's even if you ended every quarantine tomorrow? Like, you still can't even answer that question. Like, no one could give, you can't even really give because it's gonna, bro, like, people, the psyche of the consumer has been significantly altered. So what people don't understand, and why everyone on LinkedIn who's wishing or can't wait till we get back is missing the point, is that there's nothing to get back to. Like, everything as we know it in every aspect of our economy is fundamentally shifting. And like, again, even something like automation, like, you're going to see automation is going to be fast tracked, because realistically, these stores could have operated with a bunch of self-checks kiosks, had one or two people just making sure people don't steal, and you're still abiding by your social quarantine measures. You're still, putting less employees at risk. And that's another thing, like, people don't understand, every action has a reaction. As more employees are complaining about not having the gear to work in the grocery stores and the other things, these guys are all like, all right, now it's time to bring the bots in and have the bots do this stuff. So there's like, it's crazy, because I forgot, I was watching something, and it's funny because it's really shifting. It's like housing. Like, this shit is really shifting. Like, we was in terms of jobs, we was in like a buyer's market where there was just mad jobs, and like, if you just had a college degree or anything, you could pretty much get a job. Like, the economy was really booming up until this point. And now we kind of moving more into a seller's market where 6-9 months from now, when the unemployment dries up, and which is exactly why it's important for people who want to pivot to start working on shit now, because 9 months from now, when employment dries up and you have this fucking huge surplus of people looking for employment, employers are going to be, one, reducing the terms that they offer it, because there's going to be a bunch of people that need jobs, and two, they're going to have the luxury of being extremely picky about who they choose to hire, because there's just going to be that many candidates for positions. So you know what,
I'll push back on that last one a little bit, right? I think you're completely correct. Automation is going to go crazy. As usual, Andrew Yang was the smartest and the first, right? That understands this. I think automation will, as far as automated truck drivers, automated brick and mortars, automated everything.
That's fast track. It's fast tracked it.
Right. It'll be completely fast tracked. But as far as being like productive towards like the pivot, right? Like, these are the things that you gotta get in front of. If you can learn, the bots are already there. If you can learn how to repair the bot, how to maintain the bot, then you can acquire a job. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
If you can be a strategic thinker about where a bot needs to be, if you can understand that bot and you just don't like IT and you're just like, I hate bots, somebody needs to be in these rooms saying, like, this is where a bot needs to be. This is where a camera needs to be. This is these are how we need to think about it from a risk standpoint.
Facts.
These are the type of pivots that you can make if you want to be a thinker in this game, right? Like, you just have to figure out what is the need? Where's the need? I think after, and I'm backtracking a little bit, I think after the downturn in 08, right? Risk professionals were really, they went from being laughed at to being important. Like, literally, risk professionals wouldn't get their emails answered prior to the downturn, and then all of a sudden, risk professionals got all types of raises, right? Those risk professionals are still going to be very important, because this pandemic is all part of that risk profile, right? Like, companies need to understand that this is happening, have their ear to the ground as far as news, and understand what's going to happen and how a company can make money and save money. I think that risk jobs are going to be huge going forward after this, even more, because there's now a new thing that happened, right? That we didn't think of prior. Nobody really was thinking about a pandemic when you're thinking about a risk professional. But so they're going to have to shift their thinking as far as that goes. So when you think if you can again get in front of the technology wave, you can get in front of making sure that that the company you're working for isn't losing money, then you can have a job. And those are I can guarantee that in the recruiting sector, those are going to be the jobs that we're trying to fill left, and right, because every company's going to be like, yo, we can't have this happen again. We can't lose all of our money again.
So now I know in certain aspects of just speaking specifically towards the industry of risk professionals, a lot of those positions require formal education, from an academic background. I know there's some, on the IT end, you could be a part of a risk department, on the IT side of it, and may not necessarily have, a formal education, bachelor's degree, but you can get in via certifications. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, because one of the best things about the episode we recorded right before this, and we're gonna drop both episodes tomorrow probably, but Chris brought up a bunch of certifications that people could get, whether it was to get into data analytics or to like beginner steps into like IT security, that they could essentially get if they grinded for the next 4 to 6 weeks, that they could get, certified in some of these tech cloud certifications, et cetera, et cetera. I want you to answer this in two regards. One, the first one, I want you to be specific to PayPal, and I kind of want you to speak on positions that you guys are continually hiring for, despite even during this downturn, that don't necessarily require a formal education, like a college background, that, people could kind of get into that position with, X amount of certifications or knowledge in this. And then I want you to kind of speak to that on a more general space, just with your experience as a recruiter, your background in all the various sectors that you worked in recruiting. I kind of, the purpose of this is there's going to be definitely people who want to pivot that got college degrees, but I kind of also feel that people with college degrees are kind of in a better situation to pivot. Not saying that it's not going to be relevant for them as well, but I think I kind of want to make this more for like everyone, like, because I want people to understand that, like, sure, you don't necessarily have to have the formal education background. One of the actually dopest things about this new reshaping of society is that there's going to be a lot of opportunity, and there's going to be a lot of opening in spaces that don't require a formal education to enter. So I know I kind of went on a little bit, but just speak first towards PayPal and about certain positions that you guys are hiring for that don't necessarily require a college background, and then speak, to the society as large.
Well, first of all, I think it's, and this sounds not great for people that don't have college backgrounds, right? But generally, you kind of need a college background for a lot of these companies, right? I personally am a recruiter that likes to give chances. I read full resumes. A lot of recruiters do not. But I think that Chris is correct that you can grind and get certifications and highlight those certifications on your resumes to be able to get to the next step. So as far as the two-part question you asked, right? Jobs that are available at PayPal, and I think almost any tech company, period, are the engineer jobs. Tech engineers, are always needed. Through this downturn, through the next downturn, the bottom line is that every company wants to be bigger, faster, smarter, with less mistakes, right? And also pay less people, not less salary, but pay a salary to less people and automate as much as possible, right? So that work all gets done by engineers. That's something that I can't do. I'm never going to be a coder. That's just not in my DNA. Mm-hmm. I hire a couple of those people, but not really even a lot of them, because I'm doing a lot of finance, more finance than tech. But those tech jobs they're there in abundance. I'm talking about, like, just go to, everybody listening, just go to PayPal website, and then go to Apple's website, go to Microsoft, go to Google, go to all, like,
they're actively hiring. It's not just like the positions are posted and no one's going to get back to you. Like, they're actually actively hiring during the quarantine. Listen, they're doing virtual interviews. So again, speaking as a recruiter, how many people have you hired since you've been stayed at home?
I'm actually at my desk right now. I started a little. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've hired 8 people since I've been home.
So you've hired 8